Have you all heard of prelude music before? Have you heard of prelude music? Right, that's wonderful. That's our church prelude music. So I didn't know if you wanted to see something that we do in the neighborhood. It says neighborhood. Did everyone catch that? Okay, all right, great. It's great to see everyone this morning. How's everyone doing? You guys doing good? All right, we're going to have an exciting morning as we begin things here. And I wanted to make sure that as we begin, we want to kind of inspire some creativity. We want to inspire some kind of get out of the box thinking and some different things like that. And so we're going to have a little bit of fun this morning, and then we're going to get into some great content. And so at your table, you have some things on there, and they are called? That is absolutely wonderful. Okay, they are called paper clips. That's great. How many of you have used a paper clip before? Okay. A question that I have for you in our paper clips, okay? Just one question that I have for you as we begin is this. Do you know the history of the paper clip? How many of you used a paper clip before? How many of you, no, show of hands, keep your hands up. How many know the history of the paper clip? Do you deem it important in your life? No, don't lie to me. If you paperclip something at some point, you're like, I don't want to carry all these pieces of paper loosely. I want them bound, but not bound tightly. I want to be able to use them at any moment, and I will use a. That's how important it is. And so, just so you know, who thinks they know when the paperclip was invented? Google, yeah. That's good. We're going to get into that in a second. Watch out, Change Church over there. I like it. 1850. Okay, we got an 1850. What else do we got? 1910. 1930. Okay, you didn't think they had paperclip? Like, people were like, I don't need papers bound together. 1930. I like it. I like it. Okay. What else? Ready for this? Hit it. 1867. Double loop bent wire patent. Double loop bent wire patent in 1867, all right? So that was 1867, and that was by a wonderful person who put in a patent. And then the one that we know today, so do you guys know what that was used for, though, in 1867? No, it wasn't. It was not for holding papers together. Do you know what the patent was put together for?
Hair.
Hair, that's good. Yeah, that's great. I'm going to paperclip this. How many of you used a paperclip in your hair before? Okay, that's good. I love it. Okay. It was used to attach what? There you go. Attach fabric together. And even more importantly, fabric to tickets, right? Because if you imagine people are picking up that all the time, so it was fabric to tickets, right? In its form that we see today, it was patented in what year? It was actually a different patent to do paper for the double bent wire loop. Do you know when that was? Right here. 10 years later, they're like, we could do paper with this. That's how long it took them to go from, wait a second, this holds things together. I love this. 10 years we got it. Now, that was in its original form, which is not what it looks like today. On your tables, you have the form that we know of it today. It can come in triangles. It can come in anything. As long as it has two loops on it, right? Those can be squares, anything else like that. As long as it has 2 points of connection, right? That's what we know today. When was that patent? For the actual paperclip that we know today, which is called the gem wire, right? How many of you knew that its original name was gem wire? No? What, man, where are we with the paperclip? I feel like it should get more honor, like the paperclip in our life. Okay, so when was that? When did we get the patent for what we know it as today? 1901. That's close. It's right here. 1893. 1893. And we're like, what if it looked different? That's how long it took to be like, what if it was like a little bit straighter, flatter, right? And 2 loops on the inside. So all these different things are happening with the paperclip pre-1900s that we still use today. Now, we had some anniversaries of churches yesterday, right? 175 years, was that true? Didn't we get back into like the 1843? Is that what you said? 1848. It's interesting to think that we'd still be using something today that had value back then and continue to use it in different ways, right? Continue to keep on using it in different ways, but still find value in it. So on your table, you have paper clips. And Jess, what are we going to do with the paper clips?
All right. So at your table, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to collectively figure out all the ways you can use a paperclip. All the ways you can use a paperclip.
How many seconds?
60 seconds.
That's a good idea.
60 seconds. Okay? All the ways. Hint, maybe think outside the box. On your marks, get set, go.
Hit it. We got a timer. Oh, there it is. 60 seconds. It's a competition.
A buzzer.
Fifteen seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 5 seconds. Does he have it?
2, 1, stop.
Stop, that's it.
Okay, no more brainstorming. All right, let's just do a count of how many ideas you came up with. Okay, did everyone come up with 5 ideas? Yeah?
Raise your hand if you came up with 5 ideas.
Okay, how about 10 ideas? Yeah, okay, still see some hands. Okay, maybe 15 ideas? No, yes, okay, 15. Oh my gosh, 20? No? Okay, friends in the back, where did you guys land?
Yeah, can you name all 15 of your ideas, please? Oh, you just thought you had 15.
Okay.
Our baptized membership is...
Stop. Go stand in the corner.
I'm sorry, Bishop, it looks really good, though.
You had how many? 14. Okay. How many did you guys have in the back? You didn't count. Okay. All right.
Well, then it doesn't
Great job
count.
for you all thinking of a variety of different ideas. Now let's name some of those creative ideas.
Hold paper
Hold
together.
paper. Creative
the
ideas.
originality
Okay.
is killer.
Well done. Yes. Okay.
Oh.
That
we call
can
that
be done.
B&E. That's
Absolutely.
called B&E. Breaking and entering is what that's called.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay, great. Yes. Jewelry, earrings, absolutely.
Let's stick
yes.
that
Over
through our
here.
ear. That's fantastic. And a what? A toothpick? Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Actually,
I don't think
I
a
don't think
dentist
toothpick
would
makes the
recommend
list.
that.
I don't know.
Yes.
That's
okay.
great. What do we got
No,
over
no.
there? Oh, I'm sorry. You're leading.
I am. The lady that I had called on first. Nice. Very good. All right. Yes, in the red in the back. That's you. Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Yes. Next table over. Reset. Oh, yes. A device. Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead. A fishing hook. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
there we go.
Yes.
Now we're getting creative.
Hanging your cat toys. Very good. Yes. Cleaning
Clean
underneath
under
your
your
fingernails. Yes. Yes. In the back. Toilet. Well done. That's very handy. Toilet, like when the back in your. Well, you don't open the toilet because I handle that. The chain, sometimes it gets stuck. He doesn't even know. It's fine. He doesn't do those things. You're not a handy person. You can
I'm not a handy person.
You can go back
That
to the
took
corner.
a level of I don't open the toilet till I can't do anything.
I love you.
I
All
built
right.
the fence.
Okay, here we go. Yes. For craft projects, yes. Beautiful.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. Yes, when your zipper little thingy
Zip
breaks.
a zipper. We have to repeat the answers if you could.
Zip the zippers. Yes. Okay, yes, next table over. Oh, wow. So,
Wait,
Norwegian.
hold on. Yeah, say that was powerful. I didn't know that. Is that true? That's very true? Wow.
That Norwegians, right? Norwegians, you said? They wore as a sign of resistance against the Nazis. Wow.
How many knew that? That was new information to me, too. Wow, that's powerful.
Yes. Oh.
I'm going to do that when I get
Hey,
home.
we have a burner that's not working. Okay, so you can use them to clean the jets on your gas stove.
All right.
Right, and last one in the back. To clean out your Keurig. Very good. You guys
great.
are really useful ideas for the paperclip this morning.
Jess, can I pause for a second?
Sure.
What happens when we all have the same thing going on and use the same thing and then share ideas? Wait, do we all do church together? Is that true? Are we all in this every single week doing the same thing for over 148 years, right? 175 years type deal? And if we share all the ideas that we come up with, can we do the same thing where we go, oh, that's amazing. That worked really well for you. That's incredible. That's what we're here today to do. Is we're here today to say if we share these ideas with each other and share them among the churches, right, what could the kingdom of God be on earth? That's what we're doing. And we're going to start by using paper clips, but that's not the only thing we're doing today.
Okay, you all were very, very useful with your ideas for your paper clips. How many know what clip art is, right? We all know what clip art is, okay? Right?
If you're still using clip art, come talk to me.
Yeah,
we can.
Joe.
We have a support group for that, and we can. It's okay.
So we're gonna think again outside the box. You all have paper clips on your table. You need to work together as a table to create something with your paper clips.
You have 60 seconds.
Create something. 60 seconds? 60 seconds. Okay. Use your paper clips in creative ideas.
Give him the timer.
On your marks, get set, go. I'll still your work. I mean, 9:07. So
That's good.
we'll finish this at like 10.
Yeah, we'll have 35 minutes. Okay, it's fast.
Okay.
I'll go through these real fast. Can you point out a little bit more? Oh, because you want that font? You don't need that font.
No, I don't have that font. 30 seconds.
Everyone has to touch the paper clips. Don't have one person doing all the work, you junior hires. Yeah, lay hands in ministry.
There you go.
Everyone has to at least touch a paper clip in this project.
You have to have management.
5 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Stop what you're doing. Put your hands down. Okay. All right. Let's hear from tables of the
You were
things
touching your paper
you
clip.
created.
Bishop's table was touching the paper clips after we said stop. Just gonna let it out there, right? You did a snake. Congratulations. I like that. That's very nice.
That's great.
Or chains. It's
Okay,
great.
this table right here, use their paper clips to build a church 2D, I would say, okay? 2D form of their church, okay? Did anyone do anything 3D? Yes, friends over here. Oh, look at that beautiful earring she's got.
Oh, wow.
Well
Is that
done.
a communion cup on there? No, nope. That's one of the things. That's
It's
one of
the creamer containers.
It's a creamer cup,
yeah.
not a communion
well
cup.
done. I
Don't
like it.
confuse those two on
Okay.
Sunday. That would be awkward.
What other things did we create? Oh my gosh.
Let me see that.
Yes,
That's
grab
fantastic.
that. Okay.
It's a Barbie doll dress hanger.
Can we? Yes. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, that
I dare you. I dare you to beat it.
Okay, hold it up, Joe. Hold it up. Joseph, stop, honey. Hold it up. Stop. Okay. Camera is trying to get to you. Would you stop? Nope, you're not being helpful. There. Well done. That is fantastic. All right, yes, over here. You have a cross. Very good. Oh, in the back. Describe to me what you have. A plant hanger. Well done.
That's a mini hot air balloon holder.
A mini, it's upside down. It's not a hot air balloon. There's no balloon.
No, the bucket on the hot air balloon. No, to put it up. Poof.
Oh.
See the bucket of a hot air balloon?
Okay.
That's great.
Yes. Oh, we have a bracelet over here. If you made it longer, it could be a necklace. Yes, my friends in the back. Okay, they were attempting to spell love.
How far did you get?
You spelled love. Okay, you spelled love on your table. Beautiful. Yes, right back here. Say that again. Oh, he created a phone stand? Well
He legitimately made a phone stand.
Well done. Very, very good.
Is it so you can watch YouTube while we're talking?
No,
I'm just kidding.
That would just be our son.
That would just be our son.
Yes, right here. Oh, beautiful. They connected all the clips to make a cross. Awesome. Yes. Oh. They were making a scaled model of the
I'm going to give you extra time because you said that.
And we have extras. Very good.
Just in case you didn't have time to finish, I want to see it. So, no, that is a table project.
There we go. And this is
everyone
where
has to
maybe
participate. Everyone has to participate. Okay, Eiffel Tower's coming.
I know.
That's amazing.
I'm really excited. But also, could you have gone to your neighbor and said, "Can I borrow some paper clips?"
Wait, Jess, we didn't tell them they had to stay at their table?
We didn't tell them you had to stay at your table. Did I? I think I did. Did I? I might have said that. Could you have gone?
She wasn't supposed to say that. But why didn't you get up and kind of combine with other tables and see what other people were doing? Because you had 60 seconds. It's not no time. It's not no time.
That
I like
is
that.
fair.
So how many of you know that this is an actual test that they use in creativity? How many of you knew that? Okay, so this is called the alternative use test. And what this does is it tests your creativity by using a common object. It can be any common object. But what it's meant to do is inspire creativity in teams. And by taking a common object and placing it at a table, one thing that we're familiar with, I gave you the background to familiarize everyone with the common object. What ends up happening from there is we take that and we have to break open our mind to see it used in ways that we don't normally see it used. So if you've been attending church all your life, it's really hard to break our mindset of how we've done things forever. It's really hard to step away from that and go, I don't know how to use church differently. I've been doing it the same way all the time, and it feels good, it feels comfortable, it feels wonderful. And so this was a moment where we could say, okay, if we're all familiar with the paperclip, how are the different ways that we can engage a team and a table and the room and thinking outside of the box? And it tests a couple different things. First thing it tests is this, fluency. How many ideas can you come up with? Right, so if you're with your teams and you're taking this back to your teams, I want you to use this on your councils, your core teams, your churches, your ministries, your life groups. If you're taking this back, what it's creating is how many ideas could you come up with? We gave you 60 seconds and said, come up with as many ideas as you can. We want to see how many, right? The next thing it tests is this, originality. How creative are you, right? Some of us made a snake by pinning them all together. Super creative, Bishop. And then some of us made a Barbie holder, right, for a little clothes hanger. Some of us made a hot air balloon bucket, right, and an iPhone holder, right? You see the creativeness that happens? Did it inspire you to go, whoa, right? Because we're all getting inspired as a room, but that's not the only thing it tests. It also tests flexibility. How different are the ideas? Did you really think outside of the box with your paper clip and use it beyond its intended use? Not to just clip things together. So though some of that 2D is very different.
Did you create a different form? Did you take the paperclip outside its normal form? Did you unbend it? Did you make it straight? Did you bend it in a different way, like the hanger that we built?
And then for my Jessicas out there, this one is called elaboration. How detailed are the ideas? I'm a high-level thinker, right? Visionary type person. I cast ideas, and I'm like, yes, let's do that. I am not like the detailed-oriented, this is how every step's going to work. Right? Jess is a wonderful detail. If I were to cast and say, hey, you know what, we can come up with a Barbie doll holder. She's like, here's the 7 steps that we need in order to do that. We're going to have to put a team together of 3 people, right? We can each hold a part of it because they said these are the rules. That would be Jess. Do we have some detail thinkers out there? Detail thinkers, yes? It's okay. You can raise your hands. We'll love on you today. It's okay. We can love on you. The elaboration is also part of this test. So, do you guys feel a little creative now? Are we feeling a little creative? Okay. Now we're going to get into some content about how to move people from the community to the church. Right? Yesterday we went from church out to community, and now we're going community back to church. So, let's open this up. So, here's what we're going to talk about. We believe that the church is truly a circle of life. Is what we truly believe, right? It's a life cycle of people running through your church. And there are seasons of when people come in and out of your church, and we do church through ages and stages of life. Every single person does, right? And we know that inherently by how people attend church and move through church, when they go away from church and when they come back to church, right? What happens when kids graduate, and what happens when we retire, and what happens in different things, when people serve and when they don't serve. And it looks much like a labyrinth, doesn't it? Of how people kind of come in and move back, and sometimes they hit a wall and they have to go back, and then sometimes they come in, sometimes they walk right back out of the labyrinth, and they're like, no, not ready for this yet, right? Sometimes people take a really long, slow, contemplative time walking to the center of the labyrinth and getting all the way through. Some people are like, hey, I just want to get it in and get done. I want to get there as fast as I can and get back out. So the labyrinth is the model we talk about with the circle of life in the church, from the church going to community and the community going to church. It's cyclical.
And I don't know if you've experienced this like we have, but within the last 3 years, this is how it feels like for us, right? We were having a conversation, I think, with Bishop about how he walked into his wife's church over Easter, and people who hadn't been there in 3 years showed up and are like, oh my gosh, how are you? Like they were just there last Sunday. How many of you are experiencing those moments of like, well, I haven't seen them in 6 months. Have I seen them in 2 years? I have no idea what they're doing. I see them maybe in the grocery store. Great conversation. Everything's fine. But this is what it's starting to feel like. Like we don't know really the path to move people in from the community into being engaged in your church.
Now, I'm going to share a story, and I'm going to, it's a wonderful story where the neighborhood church is not perfect. We're not a perfect church. We don't always get things right, and people don't always stay. Can I get an amen to that? It's hard no matter what. I remember the first person that left in the church, and we were a small church of like 50 people. I cried on my bed. I was crying like a baby on my bed. They said, hey, we planted with you. We were here with the first year. We really wanted to help you get started. It looks like you're started, so we're going to move on. And I was like, no, the church is going to fail. Oh, my gosh. And here we are 12 years later. Now, just a couple weeks ago, I had a member sit me down and say, hey, can we go to coffee? Now, whenever you ask a pastor to coffee, you need to qualify what the coffee is about. I'm going to give that to everyone who is not ordained in this room. If you are asking an ordained leader or a leader in the church to go out to coffee or lunch or go on a bike ride, you need to tell them why you were going on a bike ride, because I've started saying, if you want me for just tacos, which means we are not going to talk church, call it just tacos. Hey, pastor, can we go to just tacos? And I'm like, absolutely, let's go. If you say, hey, pastor, can we grab a coffee? And I'm going to say, yeah, what would you like to talk about? Is there anything I can prepare for our meeting? And they go, no, I just want to talk. I said, okay, I can do that in 3 months. Well, there is something I wanted to talk to you about. Yeah, I bet there was. Let's talk. So this person sat me down and said, hey, I want to talk with you about a member that's no longer at the church. And I said, okay, and it looks like this, doesn't it? Like it moves, and I knew of this member that wasn't in the church, and they'd been on that path for a while. And I knew they were on that path, and I'd loved them, I'd met with them, I'd met with their youth, I'd walked them through family relationship situations, pastoral care. I'd been one-on-one with them, and I knew, but this church goes through ages and stages. And so they sat me down, and they said, Pastor, this person is going to another church. And I said, I said, yeah. I said, that's been probably coming for a while. And they said, yeah, but they're a great family here. I said, yeah, they're an awesome family. They've helped lead mission here. They've done this. Their children have been in the youth program for years, but their children just aged out of our youth program, ages and stages. And I was like, yeah. And the mission trips they were leading were the trips their youth were on, who are no longer in our church. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I see that. And they're like, you need, Pastor, to go get this person back.
How many of you have heard that before, right? Yep.
I do. sitting across from coffee. And she goes, yes, you do. I said, honestly, I said, this is in ages and stages. I said, it's going to be okay. Like, we're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And they said, no, Pastor. This is a 99. You need to leave the 99 for the 1. Do you want to go biblical on me? Like, first, if you're going to bring biblical to a pastor, you have opened a whole nother thing, right? And I said, that's wonderful. To which I replied this, and I want you to think about this in church community. I said, this is not a 99 situation. And they go, what? I said, they're attending another church. They're getting fed where they need to be fed right now, and we're not the only church. And I said, and I hope they're getting fed in an incredible way. And if they come back and ask me if there's another church that they can go to that they can get fed at, I will walk them into the doors and introduce them to another pastor where I think they can be fed best. Because the kingdom is big enough to have as many churches as we have with the amount of people that we have. And I said, so it's not a 99. And I'm not going to leave the 99 for the 1 because the 1 is being fed. And I'm okay. And they're like, how you like your coffee now? Let's go. No, I'm just kidding. That was in my head. I didn't say that out loud, but I was thinking it in my head. But I want you to know that church sometimes hurts. That family was an incredible family. I love that family. In fact, if they call me today, I'll go have coffee with them. Great. I have a ton of friends in the church and families in the church that have come and gone that I am still friends with. Because I understand that the church is ages and stages. I understand that we do life together, which means that our life together looks variable, it looks broken, it looks mended, it looks lost, it looks found, it looks saved, it looks rejected, and all these things the church are functioning in, and we want to be a perfect place for people to come. We are absolutely not. We are a season in their life where we bring hope. And if the church can understand that we are big enough for any amount of people that come into our church, we will begin to grow again. So, what are people looking for in the church? They're looking to be loved. Number 1, write this down, because I don't know if we think about it enough. People come to church to be loved. They come to a place in our culture and community, one of the last places where they know we are supposed to love people. Where they can walk in and be like, today, I'm not only going to be fed spiritually, I'm going to be fed emotionally, I'm going to find a community, I'm going to find a people that I can do life with. And what they're saying is, I want to be loved. At the base of everything that you do, when people walk into your church or your ministries or your service projects, you are here to love them. Please, in the name of God, do not ever forget that. Because that is the reality that we live into every single week. So there's a couple ways that we want to talk about how to do that. You can take it.
Yeah, so community, right? We talked about the church walking into the community yesterday. Now let's think about the community coming into the church, right? And so the big question we have for you today is, what is your community looking for in a church?
You can answer that question. That's a question.
Say again, I think I heard some. Community, right? A sense of belonging, maybe. Being seen, being heard, being welcomed, being accepted. Place where they can be themselves. Authentic.
We should be rattling answers right now. What is your community looking for in a church? Make a difference, right? To actually contribute to community, right? To go back in and contribute. Great. Fellowship, that's good. Hangout time, I like it. I love fellowship.
An RRC congregation, a place to belong, right? And be accepted.
Great. It's interesting because we talk RSC and authenticity, right? Which are in the same bucket. To be who you are and be welcomed where you are, right? Very important.
To be fed. You
talking like the snacks at fellowship time, or are you talking like spiritually? Both. Food is ministry. That's what I was getting at. People come for church coffee. My brother is a coffee connoisseur, right? Which is really incredible. And he came to our church and he's like, Joe, You said, you got the best coffee? And I said, absolutely. And I said, that best coffee is Folgers.
No, it's not.
It's Folgers. What do we have? No, this is
Hi.
when we had Folgers. This was before. And so we do it now, really nice local coffee.
No,
But
we have
I
nice
said,
coffee.
Folgers. He goes, Folgers? I've never heard of that. He says, is it local? I said, no, man, that's Walmart Folgers coffee, man. Like, I don't know what. It's a French brand at Walmart. Like, what are we talking? But with regards to that, I wanted to say, we're talking about feeling welcomed, what a community need. Jason here, who's your communications person, he's really awesome. He came to us yesterday. He grabbed us some water. Afterwards, he came up and said, hey, you guys did awesome. Is there anything else I can get you? We've known him. He's incredible, right? And I said, no, we're totally good. I said, oh, wait, in fact, if you give me a couple Monster Energy drinks and green M&Ms, that would be wonderful, right? Which was a joke, right? Because I don't need any more energy, right? And I was like, and he was like, ah, and we laughed. And I walked in today, and Jason was there, and he's like, here's 2 Monster Energy drinks and some green M&Ms. And I was like, no, you didn't. I was like, what? Yeah, give it up for Jason. But then he leveled up, which we're going to hear about in a second, and he said, hey, what would Jess need? Oh. And I said, well, if you want to know what Jess needs, I do know her Starbucks order because I am an amazing husband. I might not clean behind the toilet, but I know her Starbucks order. And I said, it is a grande chai tea latte with blonde shots and oat milk. And he goes, give me a second. Jason, do you happen to have a Starbucks with you? Yes, give it up for Jason. Come on up, Jason. Come on up. Yeah, no, bring it up. Seriously, we're going to take some of that. Yeah, come on up. You're going to give it up for Jason while he's walking. Can we slow clap him? Clap. Everyone say, Jason! It's so good. It's so good. Now, I would love for people to search for a church in their community that says, I would love a church that welcomes me, figures out what I need, and that when I get there, they know that and tell me the path to get to there. How many people you think type that into Google? Let me share with you a real moment if I can. We are thinking very church-wise right now, very paperclip-wise on what people are looking for in a church. Let me tell you how they search for church.
Right? They open up their browser, they find Google, and they ask the question, find me a church near me. And that is the criteria. Maybe they'll ask for a particular denomination. Maybe.
I went to a church in Colorado last week when I was running a race in Colorado, 50K, and I woke up on Sunday wanting to go to church. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to look for churches, and this is what I typed in. Churches near me. Any church, any place, churches near me. Now, what was I looking for when I typed this in next? What do you think I'm looking for? Say again? Place to worship. Lutheran, okay. Was not looking for Lutheran because I am Lutheran, so I don't need more of it. I test churches when I'm out. When I go to different places, I test any model of church, right? But I'm looking for 3 very key things publicly.
How about this? When you're in a new town, maybe you first time here in Shreveport, when you're trying to find a restaurant, how do you pick the restaurant you're going to go to?
Oh,
the ratings. Man. Ah.
Churches near me. Do you guys see this? This is actually an image I pulled up from this morning, right where we're at. I typed in churches near me. This is what it popped up. Covenant Church, the Simple Church, right? Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Sunflower Missionary Baptist. I like the name. St. Mary's Covenant Church. Now, if we have that, what am I now looking for? Okay, location, reviews, time, and pictures. I'm a pastor that researches churches, literally, across the nation. I watch 10 to 12 churches, no matter what, every single week, see what's going on, want to see what they're doing, how they're living out, what they're doing in their life. I know exactly what I'm looking for when I go in town looking for churches, but the things that are attractional are these things, right? They are the ratings, they are the pictures, and the location, and the time. So if you do not now, how many of you know how to update this on Google? 3 people. Here is a nugget for today. Are you ready? Here's your nugget. Google.com my business. Okay? Google.com/my business and claim your church. Once you claim your church, you own this listing. It's that easy. And guess what you can do? You can add pictures, you can add your times, you can add everything else, and then you're going to send a little link to your church that says, hey, submit a review for us on Google. How many of you are excited for the reviews your church is going to get? So good. Wait, we're submitting reviews for our church members at church. Now how excited are you for the reviews you're going to get? Yes! You're going to tell everyone in your church to go review your church. And you're going to come up and you're going to have 25, 35, 40, 50 reviews come up that are 5-star reviews for people who love your church. And you're going to say, I want 2 sentences of why you love this church. 2 sentences. And when they read that review and I pop into those 111, 101 Catholic church reviews, and I say, why do you love this church? They say, kids program, this, oh, because we have amazing music and worship, oh, because of the service projects that we do. And everyone is unique. What are people doing for you? They're saying why they love this church. Do you see an invite in there? Nope. That's just why I love this church. And from that, people will discover you. So the community coming into church looks very interesting. And then here is ours, just so you know. Right, we have 37 5-star Google reviews. I send out reviews for our church about every, I would say, 6 months. I ask for reviews for our church. I only get about 5 or 6 each time. We have 800 people in the church, right, because people just don't review churches like that. It's a really hard thing to ask. But you can see over there, we've had 1,600 people access our site in this last month, access our Google. Guess what 1,100 of those were? Looking at directions. That doesn't mean 1,100 people came, just to be clear. But a lot of people are looking for directions, which means they're thinking about it. That's exciting. So google.com/my business is a nugget for today about community into church. Now, once they extend from community, we want to get them into the congregation, right? They want to be a part of the congregation. So the community is out, congregation is in. And this is a very important part. Now, just use the restaurant as a good example.
Yep.
So what happens if I'm coming from the community into a restaurant? So community to church, community to restaurant. What do I want to see in a restaurant?
I want to gather information, right? Is there a spot for me to sit, right? Do I know what I'm going to be eating? Is the menu out there? Is someone greeting me? Those are some of the other things. Like, it's the information piece, right? You need to know information about the restaurant so you can sit down and order, get your meal, and have great service.
So we supply information, and we wanted to give you an example of what we do so that you could take this back to your churches and congregations, right? To say, okay, when people come into the church, we want to give you a passive way to access all of our information while you're sitting in the chairs. So that way, if you're not bold enough to come to our new here, welcomes, first time, that's great, which many people aren't, and you try to come in and sneak out, well, wonderful, here's the information you can give. So we have what we call chairback cards, and we've created these chairback cards to nest on top of each other. And we brought some examples so you guys can look at, and these examples are right here. Right, so we see these every single Sunday, and it gives all the information that you could want in our church. So kids programs, warehouse is our youth ministry, church apps, giving, everything that you want, and these sit in the back so that people, when they're there, can just review them in their chairs. They can see everything that's going on. So when they're listening to my message, they can be reviewing these cards, which is absolutely wonderful. And so on these cards, we talk about them at the start of our worship. Every single Sunday. We say, if you're first time here, just fill out that Just Saying Hi card. We just want to say hello to you, see how you want to get connected to the church, the things you're looking for in a church. We'd love to get you on a path here to community. That's it. That's the email that we send. So fill that out, drop in the chair back next to you. It'd be awesome. And so we put these cards out there. Now that moves them into the congregation, and it moves them into part of the church. But there's a difference between attending and what?
Serving.
And serving.
Yep.
How many of you people think of those attenders as, great, we have new volunteers? Yeah.
Right now, for sure.
If you're laughing right now, you have thought that more than once, right? How many of you is a new attender, a new volunteer? Is that the way we should be thinking of it? What does committed really mean then?
So we started a program, a small group ministry, in 2017, 16, 17,
yeah.
18, something like that. We built this program off of the acronym HOST. And we just asked folks to be a host. Simple, easy lift, not a really hard, time-consuming commitment. And
with our life groups, we had at the start when we launched it,
yep,
we had 125 people in 13 different life groups. 8 to 12 people per life group, meeting in homes. It was awesome, meeting in different places around the community. Absolutely incredible. We grew that up, and then we grew it right back down. So right now, post-COVID, right, and kind of still in the season even, as I would say, as we heard from Bishop, and people still experiencing it, right, and going on. Still in the season, we now have 4 active life groups.
Yeah.
4 active life groups from those 12 and 30 to 40 people. But we are so passionate that this is a future of grabbing a small ministry and community where people can relate for the whole church, that we're relaunching it coming up. And so we wanted to give you what we do, and we're going to send you our whole program for how we've launched this in our church and how we created it. But we used an acronym, and the acronym was?
It's HOST. The H stands for hospitality, right? Maybe you provide a snack. Maybe it's in your home. Maybe it's a room at the church. But you create this radical hospitality where you get to know your people. You engage with them. You know what's happening in their life. We have a life group who was, a number of them were all going through a really difficult time in their life. And it got to the point where they all ministered to themselves. They didn't necessarily need the pastor to come in and handle the life situations. They were all able to minister to themselves.
Now, with Radical Hospitality, I want you to see this HOST acronym is also how you greet people from community coming to church, not just from congregation to committed. All right? So this is an up and a down. Now, for the people coming into the church, radical hospitality is this, and it's talked about through Airbnb, which was a disruptive identity, right? And they said they have a level 1 and a level 12 is what they call it. Level 1 for an Airbnb, when people walk into a home they've never been to before, much like a church, is that the door doesn't work properly. There's no one there to greet you. They didn't send you a welcome email, right? You can't get in right away, right? It's not clean when you walk in, right? The stuff wasn't put away properly. There's no idea how to get to the Wi-Fi. There's no idea how to get to use any of the facilities or anything like that in the house. And you barely get in. The stay is not good, and you walk out. That's level 1 hospitality. You had a place to go to, but it wasn't enjoyable. They said, now there's a level 12 hospitality that says, imagine if you got in, and at the airport they greeted you as someone. And they said, we just want to welcome you. We know you're not at the Airbnb yet, but we wanted to greet you here with flowers saying, welcome to our home. And when you get to the home, we're going to have a whole kit of things that you can do in our community. We're going to have a space there. We're going to have a car ready to pick you up and take you to the best restaurant that's here in the community so that you can know what our local food is like. We're going to give you an example. We have a couple tours set up for you tomorrow, everything else like that, and we just want you to have an incredible time while you're here. And they said, what would it be to find that path towards a level 12 hospitality? I want you to think about, are you a level 1? Are you a level 5? Are you a level 10? And ask that to your lead teams at your church. What level of hospitality are you truly in your church when people come into your church for the first time? And then how can you gain 1 level? Not 12, 1 level in that hospitality. And if you worked on that once each month, just to gain 1 more level of hospitality, what would that look like in your church?
The next part of that is open chair. The O stands for open chair. That there is always room for someone new to walk into your space. This is really important. It's hard to do. Many of our life groups don't want to do this. They want to be a closed group. They've found the relationships and they're good. And that's not what we're asking. We're asking for there always to be a room and a space for someone to join. It's really important. I'm connected to all the life groups, and so when someone asks to join a life group, and then the host leader sends me a message on the side saying, well, we're actually full right now. I just cringe and it just feels awful. And so to always remember that everyone belongs and everyone needs a space is the next part of that. The next one is study. We use Right Now Media in our church. And it's kind of like Netflix of Bible studies, of book studies. They have a variety of different topics, a variety of different denominations, but you can filter it for how you need your folks to see, or if you want to do a church-wide study, and everyone can be studying the same material. The next one is time. And we're running low on time.
I know.
Okay, so time is to pick a consistent time. This is another big struggle for our groups, is that everyone's lives are so busy. But to be committed to that time is super, super important. Then we're going to jump to core, that next piece, right? Your folks are in. They're committed. They're serving maybe. But how then do you move them into the core leadership of your congregation? Maybe they're on council. Maybe they're leading a specific ministry of your church. And you move them into that space.
And then lastly, commissioned. Do we have any seminarians out there? Do we have any seminarians that are coming through, right? Stand up if you're a seminarian. Can I just see you out there? All right, stand up if you're a seminarian. Give it up for our seminarians out there. That's great. I love it. You guys can sit down. That's wonderful. Commissioned, right? If we want to think about that, what are we doing? We're creating those who are sent for the sake of the gospel into the world, right? For those who are sent from our churches. The churches should be a place of commissioning people, but not only to the seminaries, to commission them to service projects, to commission them to lead teams, to commission them in all different areas of the church. What this is right here is a leadership pipeline. And I want you to recognize it as that. Someone coming from the community that comes as a passive attender, active attender, onto a lead team, and the commission to be sent back out. To be sent back out where? To be sent back out for the sake of the church, back into the community. Do you see what's happening here? We are creating a process where when you come into the church, our whole effort in the church is to get you out of the church. Can I say it one more time? When you come into the church, my whole job as a pastor is to get you out of the church. I tell people, I'm so glad that you're here. Now that you're here, I'm going to have all of our teams, discipleship, they're all rocking, programs, wonderful, everything's going. I'm going to keep on concentrating on people who need Jesus. Because you've come in and you have a relationship to this community now, my job is to be out with those who do not have hope, do not know peace, need a future, and they need Jesus in their life, and I'm going to keep on going for that. And my hope is that when you come through this church, at the end of your journey, when you're here, you realize it's the same mission for you. That you didn't come in to find community, you came in to create it in an incredible way. And so that's all what it means to go back and be the church. Now watch what happens from yesterday's talk.
Yesterday we hit 5 I's. Do they think they sound very similar to the movement? We need to introduce. We need to provide information. We need to be involved. We need to invest. And then we need to invite. It's a circle that moves no matter which direction you're going.
So if you're all in your community, then people are all in your church. And then they're all in the community. We need to create a cycle in the life of the church that is not getting people to come to church. It's really creating people in community. We have treated church the wrong way for so many years that we don't know how to use it differently. And it's time to change. So we're going to stop there because it's hard to hear. So at that moment, we're gonna leave it right there because our next talk coming up in just a little bit, we have about 2 minutes. We'll take one question or two. And so our next talk coming up at 11 is the 5 key shifts we see happening in the church right now as the neighborhood church as we move forward. What is the neighborhood trying to look at into the future, which we want to share with you? That's a topic of conversation you're going to carry right into lunch. It's going to be incredible. So with that, do we have any questions? Open question time. Does not have to be about this content specifically. We have 2 minutes until I get yelled at. And so, because you're great on time. I am not. So 2 questions is what we'll take. Is there any questions from anyone out there? Oh, I was going to say, you look like you gained some time back. Just kidding. Go ahead. Oh, wait, but first question for you. How's Alpha Tower going? It's a work in progress? Okay, it's good. Okay, it's great.
The question is, when you get online, what kind of pictures do you look for?
Yeah, that's great. I'm looking for pictures of the life of the church. So there's 2 key things I look for. I want to see the life of your worship, right, are the pictures that I'm looking for. So I want to see your active worship space, right, which means that I want to know where I'm sitting when I come into the space. I want to familiarize myself with your church, right? So I'm going to take pictures, and if you go onto our neighborhood church just Google us, right, and pop onto our pictures on Google, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about because I just posted a slew of them like 2 weeks ago. It's pictures of the life of our worshiping body, because the people that are coming and looking at our church are usually looking for worship. The next thing I'll post is usually pictures of life of ages and stages, because people are coming in different ages and stages. So I'm going to show all walks of life in the different areas, and not just in serving, because we treat new people as volunteers, but actually in ages and stages. So those are usually the two types of pictures that I look for.
And I would say this too, that just recently we had our Stewardship Sunday. So we had a professional photographer come in and do some great photos, but it's good to see that mix of, from our iPhones all the way to maybe professional photos. So it's a good component of that. Because so now we don't have any more questions because you answered that one.
I said two, and it's 45.
No.
Do we have a quick question? Oh, yes, got one quick question. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's great. Well, praise the Lord. I love that. She said, I want to make a change, and we have some people to make a change. That's awesome.
Particularly about the prelude music and just the different things like that. Yes.
That's great. So we have Spotify, if you want to know specifically. Now, very key thing is that you can't play Spotify when you're streaming. So if you're streaming out there, just to know that. So we have a separate thing that goes out that's just little background music that plays out on our stream. But in the worship space, we just play a Spotify mix called Walk-In Sunday, and it's and I can share that with you all what it is. It might not be the flavor for everyone, but we also might not be the church for everyone. So it's okay. So yeah, we play Spotify when people come in, and we've had also our guitarists play music right when people are coming in. Simple, easy, and we just have it starting 20 minutes before worship. 20 minutes before worship it goes, and everything's on there. So great question, of course. All right, so do you guys enjoy the presentation? All right, we'll see you in about an hour.